Johnny knows what I'm talking about. He's going to know what he's talking about with Kyler Murray, who hasn't exactly made it seem like he's going to be ready for week one. And it's very classic, like Kyler fashion. I was like, does this guy even want to be ready for week one? Kind of like some of his quotes, like it not grind set quotes, which I mean, I appreciate a guy not giving like canned fake grind set quotes, but yeah, wow, he doesn't seem too terribly concerned about whether or not he's ready for week one. I'm sure that he is quite concerned about being ready for week one, but what is the sense around the team about just when Kyler Murray will make his 2023 debut? Is there any chance it's in the opener?
Yeah, it depends on the day you ask, right? Because there were those rap sheet tweets that came out early in the offseason, like going to miss maybe half the year, if not most of the year. And I kind of like put my eyebrows at that. I'm like, wait a minute, like Carson Wentz tore his ACL like almost the exact same time as Kyler and came back week 3. You know, of course, we've seen RG3 and Joe Burrow come back. And, you know, I was never of the mindset like it had to be week 1, but I'm like, well, he's going to play the majority of the season, right? I think a lot of that comes into play. Like people assume the Cardinals are tanking, which if you talk to Jonathan Gannon, they are not tanking, but like, is the roster so self-sabotaged purposely by Monty Ossenford? Like they're just not going to win many games. I think that's a fair question, but the team and the team site through their YouTube page teased a video of Kyler Murray rehabbing. And the last thing purposely that they put in there was, he said his goal was to be ready for week 1. And so like, of course people are going to run with that. Like the team is advertising that. And then we spoke to him. I spoke with him Saturday, and he's not putting a timeline on it. And it was a very coached press conference, clearly, diligently, like, don't want to put extra pressure on him. He started camp on PUP. I think it would be a really good sign if he didn't start the season on PUP, obviously. I don't think he's going to be ready week 1, but, like, could he come back week 3 or 4? I think that would be promising. There's no soft landing spot for him to come back on. I think maybe the best case scenario, like if you're going to put him on PUP, is like week 5 against Cincinnati at home. But, you know, they open up with the Commanders, and they've got, you know, the Giants at home in week 2. I would be surprised if he didn't at least play 3/4 of the season. Like if we're going to get a good, healthy sample size from Kyler Murray, because I mean, like, listen, guys, if they start like 0-6, 0-7, like I argue with this, other people argue this, like, why would you bring him back then? Because clearly you're of the mindset that you're going to get, you know, a certain USC signal caller, which they vehemently deny. They don't want to entertain that, which I get.
Never even heard of him. I've never seen
it. But it's like, what are we like? We're past Halloween, and you're, you know, almost winless, and you're going to bring Kyler. What are you doing? So I think he comes back early October would be my guess.
You mentioned, Johnny, the other quarterbacks who, you know, have come back early in the season. Joe Burrow in 2021, and then RG3 many years before that. They didn't come back at full health. You know, like RG3 was a disaster, you know, coming back, and it probably cost him his career being rushed back by Mike Shanahan. Is there any lingering concern about like the timing of the injury? Because I mean, it was late in the season, and I just assumed I assumed, okay, he's done for next year. You're saying maybe week 1. I just wonder if they're afraid of pushing him back too soon.
Yeah, sure. That's the biggest thing. Because like Gannon really likes Kyler Murray. Like took the job in part because, I mean, it's an NFL job, but also like he is excited to work with Kyler Murray. And they're playing with house money this year. The owner knows it. It's a new GM who picked Gannon. They've got 6 picks in the top 3 rounds, including Houston's 1 next year. Like they didn't have a robust free agency spending spree. I mean, like, this is they're resetting the culture here, and they're resetting it with young players. It's great. So why would you rush Kyler Murray back? My only pushback is, it's like, okay, so you knew Kyler Murray wasn't going to be ready week 1. Like why didn't you sign a quarterback? Like I'm sure we're going to get into this, but I watched the quarterbacks Friday and Saturday, and it's not good. They've got Clayton Tune, who's their QB2 right now, who I liked coming out of Houston, but like he's not ready to play. And then Colt McCoy, the incumbent, who is a Keim extension. Like they have no allegiance to Colt McCoy. I assume they were going to cut him in the offseason. He's doing like color commentary for USFL games in the spring. And I'm like, well, okay, go get Gardner Minshew, go get Jacoby Brissett, right?
Oh, no.
They didn't do that. So then, okay, Colt McCoy, he's been the number 1 during OTAs, minicamp, whatever. It's practice on Friday, and we're standing there, and he's running team, and he's taking dropbacks, and instead of throwing the ball, he's just pointing. like pointing at guys that hypothetically he could throw to.
No,
And so
stop
we
it.
asked Jonathan, I'd never seen that before. And then Duke comes in with the twos and he's throwing the football. So it's like, I get it. They're doing it every 3-day maintenance with Colt McCoy, but like, how are you going to evaluate Michael Wilson and Trey McBride and these young players? And then Saturday, he does throw the ball and he's missing guys. He threw 2 interceptions during team. And sounds like I'm knocking Colt McCoy. He's a great signing for what he was with Cliff Kingsbury. But like, why if you're Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon, you have no allegiance. You don't have a connection to him. Like, let's move on. But they're in a tough spot with that unless he shows dramatic improvement. I get he's learning a new offense, but it hasn't been good lately.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, okay? Respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.